Snowbird. Biggest standout about Snowbird to me is the views. The views at Snowbird are absolutely epic. It has some of the most, if not the most beautiful views I have ever seen at any ski resort. It looks like you're literally taking a step out into like Alaska or something. The views are just so vast, awesome. I can't stress enough how cool it is to actually be out there and see it. The videos of this aren't gonna do justice, just how epic that scenery is. You also get to ride through the Peruvian tunnel, which is one of the most unique chairlift slash magic carpet slash museums you're ever gonna see while you're on your ski or snowboard. It's really, really cool. If you're there, take the time to do it, even if it has a wait. Go through it at least once, because not only is the tunnel cool, but it spits you out into my favorite area of Snowbird, which was Mineral Basin. Hands down, if I was gonna go back to Snowbird, Mineral Basin is where I would wanna spend all my time. It's just so, the runs out there are vast and epic, and it's like you can choose your own adventure. It's a lot of fun out there. You also have the massive tram that takes you up to the top, which is really cool if you haven't ridden a tram like that. Snowbird has one. The views from the tram are epic, as well as just when you're on that very top. Really, really cool. With the exception of Park City, on this list, Snowbird has the most skiable acreage of any of the resorts that I'm gonna talk about. And if you are a skier, it's also connected to Alta, which opens up even more terrain. Unfortunately, snowboarders, we can't go over there. So there is that as well. If you are a skier, you can kind of hop back and forth between both, and it's gonna give you a little bit more acres to explore. It also has really cool facilities. The facilities at Snowbird are something that stood out to me. When you get there and you walk in through the front door, I wish I took more video of it. It feels like you're at this just like giant resort on the side of the Alps or something. It's a really cool feeling walking through it. It made me feel like I was just at this big epic resort in the Alps. I really, really like that. Now, as far as cons, out of these resorts I'm gonna talk about, Snowbird was the most crowded. It's the first one we had to wait in lines for. With that heavy crowd, also, it got skied out a little bit faster. So we didn't have the best snow conditions at Snowbird. So I would like to go back to see it with, like on a powder day. I think it would be worth going back, but it does get skied out a little bit faster. It also feels more catered to skiers than snowboarders. I don't know, it feels like if you weren't taking the steepest, gnarliest runs out there, like everything else seemed kind of like a cat track. And like all the blues on the maps were cat tracks. And as a snowboarder, cat tracks kind of suck. They're not a whole lot of fun, and plus moguls aren't really that enjoyable on a snowboard either. So where it does get skied out a little bit faster, on those steep runs, you get lots of moguls really fast. And the day we were there, again, we didn't have the best snow conditions, but it just felt like everything was either cat tracks or icy moguls, with the exception of the Mineral Basin area. Again, that was my favorite. For a snowboarder, I think Mineral Basin is like a dream out there. There's so much opportunity and so much potential out there. So definitely snowboarders, if you're going to Snowbird, Mineral Basin area stands out to me hands down. So who would I say Snowbird is for? I would say it's for the intermediate, more advanced rider, because the majority of the runs are relatively steep, icy, and it's it has some gnarly terrain if you're out there looking for it. If you're wanting the gnarliest, steepest runs in Utah, so far, that seems to me like the place to go. For families, I would personally look elsewhere. You do have a little bit more like shopping and things at the bottom, and it does have some great family runs, but I don't know, it just feels so steep and crowded to me. I feel like the other resorts on this list might be a little more family oriented.